Hello. This is Angie Watkins, your stream encourager, coming to you for your live at 5. And today is at 5. Coming May, I'm going to actually be switching up the time, but I'll post a notice about what's going on. So today's topic is acceptance or growth. Are they the same? So one of the things, my question I'm posing is, do you consider them the same? So you have this serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So one of the things is like, growth would be the wisdom to know the difference about when you can change something and when you can't. But one of the things I want to propose is that, when is acceptance okay? And when is acceptance actually an indication of growth? For example, people, you get a medical diagnosis and you may accept something, but you're like, I refuse to accept that I'm going to change something. So someone who's going, tell someone who's like possibly pre-diabetic, I'm like, you're not going to accept that. You decide you're going to change what you're doing. And in that acceptance of not accepting something, you actually grow and do something different. So acceptance is in and of itself not necessarily a bad thing, but it also is not necessarily a good thing. Accepting what people may call your lot in life or accepting less than what you know you deserve are not good things. I was going to say acceptable, but it's like this play on words. It's like, nah. But acceptance about a situation, um, it depends. I mean, acceptance can be it can be it's a case by case basis, whether it's growth or whether it's just settling. So, one, you never want to accept less than. If you have a mentality that you just have to settle for something, that is not the acceptance that is actually an indication of growth. That's an indication of low self esteem in a sense. If you accept, this is just the way it is, but the flip side of it is acceptance can be growth when you realize you can't control people, you can't control certain situations, and the only control you have is of yourself. And that acceptance is, in fact, an indication of growth. So, say, for example, you have toxic people around you. You can't change the toxic people, but you can change the way you decide to interact with them. So, for example, a toxic situation, toxic people, it's two phases. One, you accept that they are, in fact, toxic. Two, you accept that you can't control or change them. But three, the growth is knowing that you don't have to accept the situation as it stands because you have control of what you can do and what you actually can change about the situation. So it's a flip side. Trying to constantly change someone that you have no control over, or people, or a situation, is a aspect of insanity of trying to do the same thing expecting some different results. So if you know certain situations, you accept the situation for what it is and you accept that you have limited control. However, you do also accept that you have choices that you can make. And that's where the growth comes in. So they're not always one and the same, but they're an aspect of the same coin. So part of your acceptance is an aspect of growth, knowing you can do something different. Even though you're accepting part of the situation, you also accept that you have a part to play in it and that you can do something different. So I want to encourage you with anything that's going on to understand the difference. Sometimes acceptance is an aspect of your growth. Sometimes acceptance is an aspect of you settling. But always actually thinking about the situation is an element of your own personal growth. So the serenity prayer of making sure, can I accept this? Can I change it? And what's the wisdom between the two to know what I can do about it? So on one flip side, it's not one and the same, but they can actually be an outpouring of the other. So let me know what your thoughts are about acceptance or growth. Do you think they're one and the same? Do you agree that it's a case by case basis kind of thing? Um, and what do you want to do? Do you always want to accept what you have in your situation right now? Or do you also have the other flip side of accepting the fact you have a choice that you can make about your own growth, about your own decisions, about what you want to actually have happen in your life? So if you want to talk about certain things and you don't want to accept certain places in your life right now, whether it's work, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, you know, you can always hit me up, Watkins at RashiMatrix.com, and or hit me up on the Facebook page. Because one of the things you can always change is your attitude about something. So, I mean, I've said it before. I was told about certain things about my knees, my legs, or whatever. Um, or actually, I was told I might actually have to walk with a cane for most of my life because of the whole ACL thing. It was a possibility. I choose not to accept it, did rehab what I need to do, and I don't walk around with any aid whatsoever. I mean, there are other back issues and other